Lynn Spears went on to national television and lied to the world. She's trying to act like she's been a wonderful sister to Britney, but we all know the truth. She's closest to people who tried destroying Britney. Lynn even filmed this interview in the home of Britney's former business manager, and that woman is bad news. We can all see through the fake tears and the lies about Britney's conservatorship. So let's get into it. Lately, I've been trying to spend less time on my phone and more time in the moment, but you guys already know that I love to do my research and investigate stories, so Hunt a Killer has been a great option. With each delivery, you will sift through piles of documents, evidence, audio recordings, and case files, eliminating suspects and identifying the murder weapons. You'll play until you crack the case and catch the killer. But what's amazing about Hunt a Killer is that it can bring people together. Life can get so busy with work and chores and kids and everything else. I feel like I never get to sit down and spend quality time with my family. But Hunt a Killer is a new way of doing game night. It gives everyone the opportunity to have fun, work together, and investigate crime without ever having to leave the house. It's like an escape room delivered directly to your door. I've always been into crime shows and podcasts, but Hunt a Killer takes it to the next level. You'll be immersed in these crime stories and will learn the ins and outs of each cold case. So give it a shot and use my code SLOAN for $10 off your purchase. You can also use my link huntakiller.com/Sloan listed below in the description box. I know that you guys are going to love Hunt a Killer. I mean, it's everything you could want from a murder mystery. So be sure to use my code SLOAN and let me know what you think. Thank you, Hunt a Killer, for sponsoring this video, and enjoy. So Lynn Spears went on to Good Morning America to promote her new book, Things I Should Have Said, which it should be titled Things I Should Have Done Differently, because honestly, she screwed over her sister Britney. Let's start off by talking about the fact that Lynn filmed this interview in the home of Britney's former business manager. You guys know that Britney is not a fan of Lou M. Taylor, and I think it's so gross that she would film this in her home. And honestly, I don't understand why Good Morning America is giving Lynn this platform. I mean, like, what's wrong with them? And they have been trying to promote this interview all week.
Her exclusive first TV interview about her new personal memoir. What will she say? What does she want you to know about her family, her life? Lynn Spears, exclusive, this morning on ABC's Good Morning America.
There are also a couple of moments in this interview that we need to break down and analyze. So the reporter asked Lynn, how do you see your sister's state of mind currently? Which is very ableist. Like, why are we talking about Britney's mental health? Thankfully, Lynn said, I can't really speak to anyone else's state of mind. I don't think that's fair. And honestly, it's not like they're talking. They don't have communication. So Lynn would have no idea. She should have just said, like, I don't know. But why did this reporter ask the question in the first place? Now we need to get into the fake crying, because I can't handle seeing Lynn act like she's so upset over everything, because you know she really isn't.
Despite their complicated relationship, Lynn says she still has a deep love for her big sister.
What happened to that love? What has caused this rift between you?
That love is still there, 100%. I love my sister. I've only ever loved and supported her and done what's right by her, and she knows that. So I don't know why we're in this position right now.
I don't know if you guys caught that, but when she was answering that question, she kept looking away, like looking for her answer, which isn't a good sign because it looks like she's lying according to her body language. But can we take a second and talk about this outfit? What is this outfit? Did she borrow some tips from Lou M. Taylor? I mean, she's literally in her home and now wearing her clothes. I don't know if wearing white is some way of trying to look angelic and innocent, but I'm not buying it. And honestly, it doesn't look like Britney's buying it herself. Britney actually shared a cryptic Instagram post before Jamie Lynn's interview. In her caption, she wrote, "Shall I start from the beginning?" The beginning in all caps. And it seems like she's about to expose her entire family. She posted this picture along with a photo of a typewriter, which is something I believe I've seen before on her page, but I'm assuming that she's talking about writing down her own experiences, and that would be interesting because Jamie Lynn's making her book, so Britney should make her book. It is disgusting to think back to when Britney was put into this conservatorship. Her mother put out a book called Through the Storm, and now we've got Jamie Lynn putting her book out, and it seems like her family loves to exploit her when she's going through tough times. But let's talk a little bit more about this interview, because Jamie Lynn is trying to act like she didn't know anything about this conservatorship, even though she still won't utter the words "Free Britney."
What was your reaction when the conservatorship was dissolved?
I was happy. First off, I don't understand. When it was put into place, I was 17-year-old. I was about to have a baby, so I didn't understand what was happening, nor was I focused on that. I was focused on the fact that I was a 17-year-old about to have a baby. I understand just as little about it then as I do now.
Something isn't adding up here, because you were so happy and relieved when your sister's conservatorship ended, yet you didn't utter a word on social media. I didn't see a congratulations. She was like the only one in the world who wasn't congratulating Britney on her freedom. So I think this is just a ton of BS. And honestly, this interview is clearly a way for Jamie Lynn to redeem herself. Remember, guys, Jamie Lynn was a part of this conservatorship because she was a trustee of one of Britney's trusts, and this trust account was created so that her children, her sons, will have money someday, and I guess maybe when they're 18 or when Britney's no longer here, they will get money from that trust. And Jamie Lynn had a very important role as the trustee, and she even went into court several times to try to make changes to the trust, and it was extremely sketchy. So her acting like she didn't know what was going on is a ton of BS.
You talked in the book about the role that you were asked to play in the conservatorship.
There was a time where my sister asked me of her trust and will if I would be the person who assured that her boys got.
I swear to God that, I'm sorry, I don't swear to God. Sorry, God. I swear that Britney did not ask you to be the trustee of this account. Like, the people who were controlling Britney Spears asked you to do this.
Boys got what they needed. Whether she's in a conservatorship or not, that was a very normal thing, I thought. Once I realized that, you know what, she's in a conservatorship, I felt like I just didn't want to be a part of until maybe she was out of the conservatorship. So there was no, like, me overseeing funds or something like that. And if that was, it was a misunderstanding. But
Hold up. Wait, so you're acting like this was a misunderstanding. You stepped down from your role whenever the judge wouldn't allow you to move money around in sketchy ways. And she's trying to act like, oh, that was some misunderstanding. What are you talking about? If you're claiming that Britney put you in this role, then where's the misunderstanding? It just seems like she's trying to backtrack on her role in the conservatorship, which she did have a role, and it wasn't standing up for Britney. I think this is the most foul part of the interview because she's claiming that she actually tried to help free Britney. Can we get like a round of applause for Jamie Lynn because she tried to free Britney? No, you did not. You complained about Samuel Ingham. Everyone complained about Samuel Ingham, and it's so interesting to watch Jamie Lynn rewrite history on national television.
either way, I took no steps to be a part of it.
Jamie Lynn revealing for the first time she even tried to give Britney the resources she needed to end the conservatorship.
I've always been my sister's biggest supporter. So when she needed help, I set up ways to do so. Went out of my way to make sure that she had the contacts she needed to possibly go ahead and end this conservatorship and just end this all for our family. If it's going to cause this much discord, why continue it?
So you didn't always agree with the conservatorship?
Again, I doubt that Jamie Lynn actually went out of her way to try to help Britney in any way. We would not be in this position if Jamie Lynn was supporting Free Britney from the start. And that last question that the reporter asked, Jamie Lynn should say no. Like, I don't believe in this conservatorship. Who would believe in a conservatorship of someone who's 26 years old? Obviously, this is some type of manipulation, but listen to what Jamie Lynn has to say.
It wasn't about agreeing with the conservatorship. Everyone has a voice and it should be heard. So if she wanted to talk to other people, then I did. I set that up. I even spoke to her legal team, previous legal team, and that did not end well in my favor. So I did take the steps to help, but how many times can I take the steps without, she has to walk through the door.
Oh, let's put the blame on Britney. She has to walk through the door. She has to do this. Why weren't you telling your bestie, Lewin Taylor, and your father to stop this conservatorship? It just doesn't add up. And again, we need a body language expert to look at her body language here, because the entire time she's like looking like this, like, oh, I'm looking over to the left, to the right, whatever, which shows that she's like making up what she's saying on the spot. I'm sure she did a ton of PR training for this interview, but honestly, the training didn't work. So honestly, this entire interview is like 99% Britney Spears, but they did talk a little bit about Miss Jamie Lynn because she is oh so accomplished.
On her own path to stardom, Jamie Lynn Spears, a teen queen of Nickelodeon.
I had to go to boarding school.
Following in the footsteps of her famous sister, pop star Britney Spears.
I adored her. I just really she felt like everything to me.
And this morning, Jamie Lynn Spears, now 30, an actress.
But it's just not that simple.
Jamie Lynn Spears, now 30 years old. She's a singer. She's an actress. She's a New York Best Time seller, or whatever this book is going to end up. Honestly, do you think the book's going to be successful? I mean, with this kind of promo, it makes me like irk, because there's so many people out there who's not watching YouTube, who's watching this live, and they're like, oh, that Jamie Lynn seems like a really great sister. And it's just so far from the truth.
And at some point, you have to own the path you're on.
Songwriter and mother of two, speaking out about the pressure she says came with the famous last name and her family's complicated dynamics in her new book, Things I Should Have Said.
Why write this book now?
It was really important to me to, first off, honor my voice. I have to do it, or how else can I expect my daughters to stand up for themselves?
I truly believe if Jamie Lynn stood up for her sister, it would be an even better role model for her daughters. But the reporter did ask Jamie Lynn a little bit about the paparazzi back in the day and the hate and everything. And I think it's interesting because Jamie Lynn talks about the hate on the Instagram comments, which you don't have any hate on your Instagram, sister. Your comments are limited. So what are you talking about? But here's that clip.
Curious what you think about sort of the world, the paparazzi world of that time.
I look back and I think, wow, how is this acceptable? Why are you here other than to shame me and to benefit off of a young girl who's going through something already so traumatic and so deep and personal? We say we do better, but now we just go into the comments on Instagram and do it.
Honestly, I don't condone any hate being sent to Jamie Lynn. Like, even if she is truly the worst person in the world, which she's not, you don't need to go and send her hate. I mean, that's just not how we operate. You could let her just do what she's doing right now, and I mean, that's enough to hate her, in my opinion. You don't need to go and send it to her. Just feel it. You know what I mean? But she did talk a little bit about her own pregnancy. And you guys know at one point we talked on my channel about how Jamie Lynn was trying to switch the narrative and act like her parents were actually the whole villains and the criminals in this situation. And they tried to make her lose her baby when she was 17 because they didn't want her to be a teenage mother. And here's a little clip of her talking about that.
Before going public, Spears says she felt pressured by members of her family and management team, but she was adamant.
You wrote, and I'm going to quote you, the entire Spears team was already caught up in my sister's PR difficulties, and everyone around me just wanted to make the issue disappear.
Yeah, I think that the easy thing for possibly them would have been like, let's just get this over with, and like you go back to being the perfect little sister, because that's your role.
I truly don't think that Jamie Lynn deserved to go through that. I mean, that's really tough, being a young kid, being pregnant, and just going through the motions and having the pressure of your family try to stop you. But at the end of the day, this whole interview is some PR stunt to rewrite history and to make it seem like Jamie Lynn is some angel when she's really not. There's no way she feels good about this interview. I mean, you could wear white all day, wear all the white you want to, but it's not going to erase what you've done. And who you really need to go and talk to is your sister. And the thing is, like, I don't even think there's room for them to like make up or to make amends or anything like that, because like Jamie Lynn already picked her side. She's extremely close to her father. She's extremely close to Britney's former business manager. I mean, she's been sitting in Lou and Taylor's freaking house for this interview. So there's something really wrong here, and it makes me feel bad for Britney, because I would love if Britney had a nice and caring family to depend on, but she doesn't. And Jamie Lynn proved that. But I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Here is my email, and thank you guys for watching this video. Definitely go and check out Hunt a Killer in my link in the description below. You guys are going to love it, and make sure you use my code Sloan. I'll see you guys in a new video soon. Bye guys.